I've got a couple of quick fire questions that I got off a couple of my mates.
Oh,
So, first one, who was your biggest name client? Doesn't necessarily have to be at Liverpool.
I'm not giving you that. Play
No?
Confidentiality. So, with any patient, unless it's posted on my Instagram, tell them I have a nosy at Instagram. I'll let them choose the answer to that. But I don't.
How about favourite client then?
I don't post a lot with Instagram. My favourite client, that's really tough one to answer at all. I'm being really boring here by flipping ducking the question. I certainly wouldn't name one. Favourite client? Oh my God. I tell you what, I won't name them. I looked after a couple of players. I set my business up not to work with elite footballers. I do, but it's not why I did it. I did it because I believe I can make a difference to players at lower levels that don't always get access to elite levels of care.
Yeah.
And if I can make a difference to a League Two footballer or a non-league footballer who's playing in the National League, whose wife or girlfriend have to work full time alongside them working full time, and they're 31 years of age and carry an injury, and if they don't get back fit quickly, they don't get a contract for next year. Or if they do, they get a lesser contract.
Yeah.
I've had a couple of players in a similar scenario to that who have managed to get back and train and play and get that contract, so that the pressures at home are nowhere near as bad as they may have been. I know I've made a difference there. I know I've actually made a difference to someone.
I imagine that makes more of a difference to those sort of players than it does at the elite level.
Yeah, and it's massive to me as well. Yeah. It's massive to me because that's why I did it. I got contacted by a couple of players who've come to me and said early on, and that was why I sort of target those clubs and those players more, because it means more to me, because I believe I can make a difference to them by making a decision quickly and putting them back on a pitch a little bit faster sometimes. So I would say those athletes, and the other ones I've sort of helped from the women's side as well, where they're not, there's certainly a massive increase in interest and involvement and input financially to that side. But I've worked with a lot of women's players over the last few years as well, and it means a lot to help them as well, and seeing them succeed now and do extremely well in the Euros. There's a couple of the girls that have been in the Euros and just smashed it and just done so well, that have had recurrent injuries. But I won't, they know who they are, but I don't want to sort of
that's fine
for multiple reasons, but they know who they are.
Yeah, well, I imagine you're not going to be able to answer this last one either then. Which was, are there any nightmare players you've had to deal with? I imagine, like you said before, there's a few egos that you've came across.
There's one or two. I've been really lucky. What I would say, Josh, I've been really lucky. I've worked with some amazing staff, and predominantly most of the players I've worked with, and I mean the vast majority, virtually every one of them, have been really good people. I have had a couple, don't get me wrong, they've still been good players. They've had fantastic careers, but one or two that had or wanted to have input, and maybe some people allowed them a bit more input than I potentially believe they should have had in decision-making things that I don't believe, they're not qualified to have. And that sometimes does affect you afterwards. You think, oh my God, should I just kept that person happy? Should I just done what they wanted to do? And then you think, well, hang on a minute. Why am I being told to do?
You're the expert at the end of the day.
Yeah, I wouldn't start talking to them about saying, well, I think you should have played 4-5-1 today, lads. Not my specialty, but they've got what they believe. People around them will do what they want and give them what they want and go along with that. I'm not that personality. I'm not that personality. I'll go along with
I bugged you for a while to let me go back and play football. You kept telling me no. So.
But my hopefully is to be aggressive and try and do that as fast as I can. But I'll do it as fast as I can when I think it's sensible enough to do so. I think
exactly.
But other things, it's not always just about that. It's just there's egos all the time, and they're in every business. They're not just unique to football. You get that where they want opinions on things, and some people will allow them those opinions because they want them kept quiet. I got to a point, I think, where I thought, no, I'm not. I just didn't want to. I didn't want to fold and go with it and allow someone who I thought wasn't a very nice person opinions on certain matters. But there's one or two, but the vast majority of them were brilliant, and I loved it. I won't let bits like that sort of affect affect my thoughts on anything going back into it. I went back in and did a year at Newcastle doing some consultancy stuff with them. Unbelievable set of players. I had no issues with any of those lads. Still stay in contact with an awful lot of them. Still help them with a few little bits and pieces from time to time. And I still go back up there and watch games and support them from a distance.
Yeah, and I think that's a testament to yourself, Andy, with the way you operate. So you then left Liverpool to move to Harris and Ross.
Yeah.
How has that changed then? Like, because obviously you've gone to, I imagine, what is a very intense setup with a top-level football team, into now you're still providing that same level of service, but to more the general public and obviously sort of lower-level athletes.
Yeah.
How was that change and transition?
Well, it's just the schedule. You don't follow the schedule, so it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. I work with Premier League players, Championship, League One, League Two, non-league, recreational, general public, with any different sport, all different levels, and I believe I can make a difference for them, and hopefully they think the same. It's different because the other thing is you don't. I set up this to be self-employed, so there's a considerable amount of stress that goes with that once you start earning money and you know you're getting paid every week and every month. To then thinking, well, if I book a holiday, I'm not going to get 2 weeks off because then it's going to cost me that plus 2 weeks money for not going. So that's a bit of a different stress. Trying to build something away from it, but it's one you kind of revel in after a bit. To be totally honest, it's good.
It's a really good setup that you've got there as well, which is basically, you've got like the clinic, like the private clinic part, haven't you, where you can do all your exercise and stuff, and then you've literally got a running track right next to to the setup.
We've got a 200-metre running track running around the outside. We've got 60 metres straight. We've got 5 swimming pools downstairs as well. Full recovery suites.
I didn't realise there was that many.
Yeah, we've got our own private gym just off the side of the clinic. There is the little gym just behind, outside my treatment room here as well. But it's amazing facilities.
Yeah,
unbelievable, untouchable.
Yeah, well, that was the reason I was going there every week to see you. So when I was doing my little bit of research, I noticed that you've also, I think you mentioned before, you've got a few side things going on. Tell me about Optimal Performance Partners.
So I got contacted by someone a bit ago asking about a few different things for a football club abroad. And then I thought, well, hang on a minute, why am I not doing this myself? So I set up a separate company offering consultancy services to clubs abroad. Football clubs primarily, because that's where my history is. But to offer consultancy services in any one area. So I've got an individual from a commercial background, I've got an individual from a football background, one from a sports science background, myself from medical, I've got another guy who's from a recruitment side of things, as in football recruitment, scouting and recruitment, to go in and assist football clubs abroad. So I'm talking with a club in America, a couple of clubs in the Middle East, and a club in the Far East at the moment, and doing little bits and pieces with those. So it's sort of non-clinical, gives me something a little bit different. It's obviously not hands-on. Gives me the option to work a little bit remotely as well. So yeah, it's in its infancy at the moment, but it's something I'm quite keen to do.
Very nice. So is there anything else that's coming up in the future, or is that the main one that you're working towards outside of Harrison?
The next one, because I don't want to talk about the other one at the minute, because I've not launched it. I've just agreed with the developer for something else, which I'm really, really excited about, and I've just pushed the button on that to be built on. Literally pushed the button on Friday, just gone with the developer to go and have that built now. So I'll do that. I'm building a microsite. I'll launch that over the next 6 months. It'll be a soft launch with a limited number of people on it, and if that goes well, that will be bigger again in 6 months' time.
Sounds very interesting. I'll have to keep tabs on it.
Yeah, it's for me. Might not be so for anyone else, but hopefully it'll work. It's got some legs. I believe in it. So.
Yeah, definitely. Keep me up to date on it. Listen, I know you've probably got a couple of clients coming up. It's just ticked over after. Actually, yeah. I just noticed the time, so we'll wrap this one up. Where can everyone find you on social media? I know you don't post there very often, but
I'm a bit rubbish, so apologies. I will start to do a bit more. I keep saying that, but I just don't. If I'm busy, I don't get time to do it, and I'm busy enough at this moment in time. But yeah, so my Insta is at Andy R Physio, so ANDY R Physio. I think my Twitter is exactly the same as well, and then I'm on LinkedIn as well.
And then I imagine everyone can find you through the Harrison Ross website as well if they need to book anything in.
Yeah, they can book with me either online or just give the girls a call here and they can sort that out, or contact me direct using the social media stuff.
Very nice. Andy, thank you very much for coming on.
Thanks for asking me, mate. Thanks for asking me. Good to see you.
It is. Hopefully we don't have to see each other very soon. But
no, not face to face.
Yeah. Right, so if you've been watching on YouTube, thank you very much for watching. And if you enjoyed this one, drop it a like. If you're new, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you very much for watching part 3 of the podcast. If you'd like to see more clips of the Big Lad podcast, click right here. If you're new, subscribe. And if you enjoyed it, make sure you drop it a like down below. Thank you.